You're a phenomenal actress, but I truly believe I've seen your work over the years. This is definitely your finest performance, and this is just phenomenal. How did it feel like to be a part of all this, and with such an interesting community of Iranian actors, mostly which are comedians? I found that to be very interesting.
That's right. Yes, it was. It felt great. I was so proud as an actor, as a feminist, as an activist, as an Iranian woman who's a part of this all. So proud to be able to tell the story, and so proud to be able to work with all these legendary actors from Iran. For the first time we spoke Farsi. You know, it's been almost 30 years that I haven't done such a thing. And I had the honor and pleasure of working with these people. Parviz Sayyad himself, the guy who plays the mechanic, he himself is a great playwright and director and legendary actor of Iran. Yes. So is Ali Pourtaj, the guy who plays the mullah. So it was so overwhelming, so close to home. And the village itself looked so much like the villages in Iran. And to be honest with you, at one point, stoning scene, it was really hard to tell the difference between reality and cinema. Because all these familiar faces were shouting with their angry fists in the air, their angry feet pounding on the ground, bringing up all this dust. And I'm thinking, where am I? Is this happened? Is this really happened?
I loved the rhythm you also had with Fagbor's Davudian. It was fabulous. Like, oh, to think I was going to marry you. I love that scene. And also the chemistry you had with Mojan and the singing scene. We had just spoken to her about that. Please tell us about that as well. It was absolutely lovely.
Sure, by all means. Yes, again, that was another part of being together, being happy, being acting as one tribe. And yes, we kept singing every night. I've found singing, soothing, especially when you were away from home, you were traveling. I remember we were doing, I was working as a consultant on Charlie Wilson's War, and we were all in the Atlas Mountain, the mountain of Morocco, and Amy, a great actress, and she used to come down with her guitar and plays Sweet Home Alabama. So it's kind of soothing. We used to do the same thing every night after the daily work. And one night Cyrus heard us and came to me and said, why don't you do it in the film? And we tried to find the right scene for it, and the scene that I am making her ready for the stoning part was the best, when I'm combing her hair, which is one of my favorite scenes.
You are a political activist. You're also a human rights activist. You're also involved in women's rights. This role, did you think about involving yourself in this movie? Do you think it's going to have some kind of backlash from the Iranian community in Southern California? Not Iran, just here. I'm talking about LA.
Oh, definitely we would have backlashes, definitely. We would have pro and against people who loved it or hated it. And I tell you why. There are a few people who do believe that we should keep our image rather than coming out and shouting, telling people what our problems are. Personally, rather come out and shout and seek help. Personally, care about that woman rather than my image. But it all depends. It's a personal choice, really. And especially lately I have heard that there are some Iranian organizations call themselves the image makers of Iran. And I had a meeting with a few of them, and they didn't like the movie. They told me that this is not going to give us a good image. And I told them that, how about us being so courageous to make this film, to tell the story? Aren't you proud of us? That we told this story in such a way, it's so compelling and so gripping, and people tell me that they sit on the edge of their chairs rather than relaxing and watching the film. You should be proud of us because of doing it, not because of ruining our image. It's not about our image, it's about the image of ignorant people who do not understand what they are doing. And maybe if we tell them that it's wrong, they will stop it.
The Muslim American PAC also honored you recently for your role in Simpson. How do you also feel about that, being honored by the Muslims, not just Iranians, by the whole Muslim community?
Well, it's great to be honored, whether by Muslims or Christians or Jews. I'm an actor at the end of the day, and this is my reward. You know, we're like children. We have our punishments and rewards, and when they give me a trophy or they acknowledge my work, it's a great reward for me. And I have to tell you something. Whether I like it or not, I have turned into an actress with a mission. The way I have lived in Iran, in Europe, in US, worked in Iran, in the Middle East, in Europe, in USA. And what I have seen along the way, I have seen so many and so much that has turned me into, whether, again, I like it or not, has turned me into an actress with a mission. So I care about mission rather than anything else. I care about that very woman who is now in Shiraz, in a dungeon, waiting to be stoned next week or 2 weeks from now. I care about her.
Actually, there was a case of a man being stoned a couple of weeks ago in the city of Rasht. Even though the head of judiciary has banned it, I mean, this is happening, I think, because it is so much part of our culture. I mean, just like honor killing. People kill their wives because they have affairs. It's nothing that, you know, always has government's hands in it. It's so much part of our culture. It's hard to change. You know, we're not exactly like Scandinavians. Iranian men don't act like the Danes.
But look, stoning has been there since the Stone Age. It's been in with Judaism, Christianity, Muslims. All other nations and all other religions have gotten rid of it, and we're still harboring it, especially in the rural areas in the Islamic world. I am sure we have a great model in front of us. We can do the same thing as the others did, and to get rid of this form of barbaric punishment.
I second that.
Yeah.
Sorry, you're very active and involved with your human rights and women's issues, like Yomar said, and you can probably never go to Iran again, but doing this movie kind of solidifies it, and you have a very strong sense of yourself as an Iranian. So how does that affect you as a whole? I mean, that must kind of be bittersweet and painful. I mean, you're sending out a wonderful message, but yet you can never really go there again.
Exactly. Now you realize that why I keep saying that this is like a double-edged sword to me, because I need to talk about these injustices. You know, children, women in the areas that have been deprived of their own rights, you know, basic rights. But on the other hand, since I'm coming from that region, it will of course not only hurt me but also my image. So it's like a double sword edge to me. But what I truly care about is that very woman who is waiting to be stoned. And I'm hoping that whatever happens to me or to the others, this film would affect her punishment. In Islam, we have Quran, that is our holy book, Muslims' holy book. We have Hadith, 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 that are stories that have been told after Muhammad's time. And there is Sunnat, traditions and superstitions. Stoning is in that category. It's not even been mentioned in Quran. So I don't think there's any way we can take this as something against Islam or against a certain religion, because it is still in that category, in the category of superstitions and traditions. But those who would like to manipulate the divine law, of course, would tell those who have not read their own holy book, would tell them that this is a part of our religion, which is not really. It is not.